What happened to the pod I love? Because this is not it. And I've been on Mona's back for the better part of 2 months now, heavy, constantly. But it wasn't until today's Patreon episode that I finally had a moment of clarity. So Mona, let me start with an apology. I apologize for getting frustrated with your podding style, because today I realized something. You have to act like you're carrying the team on your back, because who else is going to? Scrolling through the Patreon comments today, I kept seeing the same two arguments. On one side, it was, pass the ball, Mona talks too much, tell her to shut up, Joe and Ian need to talk with her. And at first, I agreed, I was right there with them. But then I started reading the other comments, the people defending Mona, saying, who exactly is she supposed to pass the ball to? And that's when it clicked. Because, wait a minute, they're right. Who is she supposed to pass the ball to? They try to give the ball to Imani, and he catches heat every single time. Same recycled complaints. He talks too much, he's too sensitive, he gets frustrated. But let's be real about two things. First, they play with his name way too much, and I'll break that down clearly on Patreon because that deserves its own conversation. Second, outside of Ish, nobody consistently contributes the way he does. And when others do try to contribute, they immediately get sensitive the moment they're challenged. Imani calls that out, and nothing changes. So now we're pointing fingers at Mona and Imani when the finger really needs to be pointed at the astral curator of the pod, Joe. There have been multiple moments lately where Joe starts telling a story, and usually Joe's the master orator. I'm locked in, I want to hear the punchline. But lately, you can tell he's doing that fake laugh. Everybody on set knows the fake laugh. He laughs, then they laugh, and once the fake laugh is out of the way, we get a long build-up to a whole lot of nothing. Straight nothing burgers. And the bigger issue is that Joe keeps cutting off actual interesting conversations because he wants the pod to be laugh-based, joke-based, comedian-based, whatever label you want to use, when the audience that watches the show is here for substance. He'll shut down deep conversations, then turn around and get frustrated that the cast doesn't share anything personal. And that's where the cycle starts all over again. Mona talks too much. She needs to pass the ball. But then, when the ball gets passed, you see exactly why nobody wants to say anything about themselves. This pod has been coasting at the #1 spot for a while now, and I remember when they used to criticize The Breakfast Club. Every time ratings came up, Joe would say the same thing. They're not innovating, they're not introducing anything new. They're #1 because there's no competition. I'm starting to feel that same way about the Joe Budden podcast, and that's the uncomfortable truth. I've seen at least 10 comments every single week of people saying, this is the month I cancel my subscription. And that's wild, because you never saw that during the early Patreon days, ever. That's where I'm torn, because I feel everybody. It really hasn't been hitting the same. And when it does hit, there's usually a very specific person involved, Flip. Now, let me be fair, Mark's presence is clearly missed. And Monet actually had a good pod by her standards because she was doing all the carrying, as she does on her own network, to the point where people were telling us, go watch Monet on her platform. And it's like, we already do. So what's the point of her being a new hire here if she's contributing more than people who've been on the pod for years? What would be the point of adding her just to be the female voice? No. Monet is treating this like an opportunity, and she's been very clear about how she feels. She said it multiple times. Joe, you'd be better off doing this by yourself. And let's be honest, that's a shot at everybody except Mark and Flip. Ice, Ish, Imani, everyone else. She's basically saying, I can't do this with these dudes, and since they're not contributing, I'm gonna talk over them. Now it looks like there's a little tension brewing between Joe and Monet. I'm not going to speculate too hard, but something is there. Because from Monet's perspective, it's like, why are you coming at me so aggressively? You tell me to shut up, you tell me to pass the ball, you tell me to let others get involved. But when she sits there quietly, nobody talks, nobody steps up, nobody says anything, except Imani. And we already know how she feels about Imani. She defends him every chance she gets, because at least he's trying. I'm tired of pointing the finger at Monet. I'm tired of pointing the finger at Mark. I'm tired of blaming the new hires for their level of contribution. Because let's be clear, they're showing up and giving effort. The ones acting like this show is beneath them are Ice and Ish. And let's not forget, Ice said he was starting a Patreon. I'm still waiting. Still waiting. Meanwhile, y'all clown Imani non-stop, but he said he was going to make a Patreon, and he did, and it's actually doing numbers. Sorry if this comes off as frustrated, but this is a pod we used to love, a pod we wouldn't miss under any circumstances. Now, it's getting harder for me to show up on drop day and watch the episode straight through, one sitting, no breaks. I'm watching in sections now, and that's crazy, because even on the good episodes, I'm not finishing them in one session anymore. That shouldn't be happening. So yeah, I'm tired of pointing the finger at the people who are actually trying. You telling somebody they talk too much on a platform where they literally get paid to speak makes no sense. I wouldn't have to ball hog if people actually wanted the ball when it gets passed to them. Simple as that. But y'all tell me, am I bugging like I usually do, or do I actually have a point like all the people saying the same thing in the comments every week? And when are they going to start listening to the people who actually pay them, especially Patreon? Patreon should be the loudest voice in the room. There's a reason I'm posting over there every day. But anyway, y'all let me know in the comments, because this is getting ridiculous. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, you already know how we're rocking. Ignore the rasp in my voice. I'm starting to sound like Ice. I've been sick for like 2 weeks trying to shake this, and this medicine is not working fast enough. That's what happens when the weather keeps flipping, especially out here in Texas. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. I'll catch y'all in a bit. Make sure you slide over to that Patreon too, because I've got a full breakdown over there, and I'm done biting my tongue. This is getting serious. See y'all soon. Peace.